Oh, dude, am I talking to myself over here? See, that's how it works with the amateur crew. Andre's gone, and that's what happens. So, all right. Uh, Once again, I'm gonna do my intro again because you guys didn't hear it. Tramell Ray Isaac, Senior Art Director, PlanetSide 2, and this is Inside the Player Studio. Bring you little tidbits about how to make awesome stuff for Player Studio. Today I got a couple guests in the studio who are gonna show you some things, talk about how they do on different projects and also on PlanetSide 2. We got Rosie Rappaport, who's going to talk about EverQuest's next landmark, now retitled just Landmark, right?
Yep.
All right, so she's going to talk about that and talk about the international deal that we just put out there for the world. And I got my man Chris Bishop, who does all the cleanup on your art on PlanetSide 2. And of course, I've got an interview with your good friend Art Torn, who does some really cool helmets for PlanetSide 2 as well. So, without further ado, Rosie, let's do this. Yay, Rosie. There you go. Microphone. Do your thing. Just get in here. Hey, get there. Get in there. Nicely done. And make sure your mic is up because I don't want to embarrass you like I embarrassed myself. That would not be good. So, Rosie Rapport, Senior Art Director, EverQuest Next. Tell us what the deal is.
Well, the big news is we're going onto the marketplace with Player Studio for templates that people build in Landmark, May 1st.
Sweet. May 1st?
Yes.
So that means that I can do what when May 1st comes around?
Well, on or before May 1st, you'll be able to sell your templates on the marketplace.
And what if I'm from another country, like, say, Canada?
Well, then you will also be able to sell your templates on the marketplace.
No way!
You could be from another country, like let's just say
God. Can you believe it?
The UK maybe.
What?
Yeah.
Even the UK?
Yeah, even the UK and Canada.
Man, so exciting.
And France.
France!
Yeah.
Amazing.
And Germany. So
Germany
I think
too?
we're going to have to be doing some research.
Oh my God. They can do it from home in Germany, France, and Canada. Who else? Anybody
And
else?
the US.
And the US, of course.
Yeah.
And that's it? That's it for the first rollout? Or we're going to be doing some more stuff later on?
Well, of course, we're always going to be doing more stuff, but yeah.
There it is. So tell us a little bit about Landmark for those people who don't know, because I think most of the people tuning in now are probably Player Studio people from PlanetSide 2.
Okay.
So to introduce the rest of the world to
what I'm
EverQuest
talking
Next.
about
Exactly.
with all this stuff. Well, okay, so on Landmark, if you guys haven't been playing, you can actually go into Landmark and build your own plot of land. You can build whatever you want. People have been building airplanes and tanks and castles. Whatever you can build can be there for the most part, as long as it's appropriate. And then you can make a template out of it. You can select the whole thing and copy it and make it into a template. And soon you'll be able to sell it.
Don't mind me. I'm just jacking stuff up
That's
here.
quite all right. So that's some pretty
here.
exciting stuff.
So, Landmark, explain this forum that you guys have. Is this the same as the Player Studio PlanetSide 2 forum?
This is specific to Landmark. It's for people that want to discuss and get tips and tricks and tell us what they want to see in the game. This is how we get a lot of information from the players.
So where's the really cool stuff? I want to see cool stuff.
The coolest stuff that I like is to see what people have built that week. I'm not exactly sure.
How do I get there?
I'm not exactly sure.
Type in cool stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Find it. But I've seen plenty of pictures. There's some really cool stuff.
I think it's under official news.
Official news. There you go.
And it should be like
Player Studio coming to Landmark. There it is. And more countries. There's a little.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
The little
The
press
announcement.
release that we did. So all the people who have been complaining, oh man, I wish I could get my thing. I'm from France. I wish I could participate. Now you can participate. Coming soon, May 1st. There you go. And that's for Landmark and for Player Studio PlanetSide 2. And you can start making stuff. Actually, you can start participating on the Player Studio forums for PlanetSide 2 now and just, get that feedback going and be ready to submit.
Yeah, start building now. That's my advice.
Yeah. So is the interaction with the community on the Landmark side the same as it is with Player Studio for PlanetSide 2? Do you go in there and give people information on how to build stuff and how to coordinate like different templates and things like that?
There's a ton of information on the forums. There's people that are doing stuff that we never even expected. I didn't even know was possible. People are figuring stuff out with voxels, and then they're making their own tutorials and videos about how they did it, and it's totally amazing. The stuff that people have been creating it just blows my mind.
Let's see if we can find some cool stuff on the internets. Images. What is this stuff? What we got here? Is this some of the initial stuff that you guys did for EverQuest?
Yeah, that's some of it.
What is that?
There's some other player stuff in here too, but it's mixed with.
Let's find a good one. What about that one? Is that your creation? Did you do that?
I think that's by Dave. Did that?
Dave.
Yeah.
Georgeson did that?
I think.
Georgeson's
I wouldn't want to give
skills.
wrong credit, but yeah, he does do some building.
Georgeson's got some skills. Way to go there, Dave. Awesome stuff. So people can make stuff just as good. I've seen some really cool stuff.
I mean, there is just the
there you go.
Killer
Sand, rocks, and stone.
Yeah, I hope those are rocks.
That's exactly what people are going to be
making. Those need to be flagged.
So how do you deal with stuff like that if somebody is actually creating something that's not appropriate for the game?
Well, we're going to be relying a lot on player notification, but so far it really hasn't been a huge problem. Oh, check that out.
Which one? This one?
I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
How is that possible? That's all voxels?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
insane.
That's pretty damn nice. Somebody's got a lot of free time.
Yeah. I mean, I would buy that.
I would too. So you can actually combine that into a template and sell it to somebody?
Yeah.
That's
nice.
Right.
And, there were fans that were a little sad about Free Roams closing. They went ahead and
built Free Roams.
They started rebuilding it. I saw some screenshots of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was
pretty nice.
Really cool.
And you worked on Free Roams too. How does it feel to see that people are actually trying to recreate the thing that you worked on for so long?
It feels awesome. I felt sad that it was closing down, but I was glad that some of the fans can, move on and start recreating that and doing something new with SOE.
Very nice. Look at this. Is this that's Landmark.
Yeah.
Look at them. People are trying to make PlanetSide 2 inside of Landmark.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Keep up the good work. We're going to take over the whole thing. So it's just going to be PlanetSide 2 all over the place. Just take over this place. So it's pretty cool. Obviously, you got a nice tool set in order for people to make really flexible things.
Yeah.
So it's when you think, Minecrafty, people are thinking like blocks and stuff like that. So it's not really like that, though.
No,
right?
because there's much more advanced smoothing. So you don't get the blocky stuff, but hopefully it's enjoyable. I mean, I think Minecraft is really enjoyable to use, but very basic. Mm-hmm. So what we want to do is bridge the gap and move to the next level. So just whatever you can imagine, you can build, and still have enjoy and not feel frustrated.
Check that out. It's like straight up out of Miami Vice or something. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Little drug dealer villa on the ocean front. Nicely done. All right. Well, if anything else big coming up for EverQuest Next, or Landmark, as I would say.
Well, the next thing is going to be our open beta.
All right.
We're working hard.
Do we have a date for that?
There has not been a date.
All right.
Announced.
Too bad.
I
tried to squeeze out the particulars for you guys. But
I
I'm
gotta
sorry.
be on my toes.
Just throw them jabs in there. didn't quite make it. Anyway, all right. Well, beta's coming up. People will be prepared for that. Get your templates ready. Start making some money because ultimately this is all about providing the players with a good resource so that you can start generating some funds.
That's right. You can be in closed beta right now. It's $20 to participate and get your plot of land so you can stake your claim and start building.
Sweet. What do I get for $20?
Well, mostly you get that plot of land. You get to participate. You get to make comments on the forums and work with, giving the developers your feedback. Plus, you get I can't remember what all the pieces are, but you get a flag prop and you get a vault, I think. And there's a few items like that that you get.
Pretty cool. All right.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. I'm going to start building some stuff myself.
Cool.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. I'm going to make some stuff and then try to sell it on the black
Yeah, you got to be incognito.
I know. I'm going to put it on a black market. Don't let nobody know. I'm submit it through Bishop over there. Just let everybody know. All right. Thanks a lot, Rosie.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Rosie, I was about to call you Cross Girl. Rosie Rappaport. That's her old name. My bad. Anyway, as we go along, very nice. Landmark. It's looking good. Some good stuff there. Oh, look at that. I got my Maya up there. Don't want to do that. Not time for that yet. I need an engineer, dude, to be working my camera stuff. All right, so next up is my good friend Chris Bishop, who is going to tell you everything about what he does and how he goes about cleaning up your work. So, Mr. Bishop, come on in here, sir. Get on in here. All right, Chris Bishop, tell us a little bit of something about yourself to get the people out there a little bit of background about yourself, and then go into what you do on a daily basis.
Yeah, my name's Chris Bishop. I'm a 3D artist, one of the 3D artists on PlanetSide. I'm in charge of most of the Player Studio models that get done, cleaning them up, and adding UV channels, the stuff to get it from what you guys do into the game.
All right. So if something looks crappy, it's his fault.
Yeah. Yep.
Not really. But no, you come across a lot of things that are. What's like the most common mistake that you see in submissions?
I feel like most of the stuff is about 90% done when it gets submitted. So the last 10%, that's where I just kind of align verts and move things so that the edge flow looks nice around the head. Sometimes people forget, that there's a head inside that helmet. Mm-hmm. And it needs to look like there's a head inside there. So, if they don't have support for the cheeks or, the sides of the head, it starts looking funny. And it doesn't match the rest of the anatomy of the whole body.
Sweet. So what about like color choices? Do you also kind of alter some of the color choices as well?
Yeah, every now and then the players make some questionable choices. And so I take artistic license and I see the feedback that people write on the forums. And they're not always happy with the end result, but we try. We try to make it look as good as we can and, make sure it fits PlanetSide. And a lot of the times, what people don't see is the detailed channels and the last bit that makes it into the game. So I just want to make sure that it looks good and what they see isn't always the end result.
Yeah.
And they don't know that. And it's not their fault.
Yeah. And actually we're working on something that could help you. We're actually in the works with that. We have more details about that later. But you guys will be having a little bit more control over what the final result looks like. We're trying to make sure that, when we provide something to you, it's, as robust as we possibly can get it. So Judgment Day is coming. Well, and you will have to make your stuff shine or else it won't get looked at.
As awesome as it is for them, it's also awesome for us. It saves us a lot of work.
Exactly.
We can raise the level of quality that makes it into the game. Everybody wins.
So what is, do you have like a cutoff? Like, say you're looking at something and that it's questionable as far as like the quality, as far as like how long it's going to take you. Do you have a cutoff? Like, if it's going to take me X amount of time, I'm just going to send it back?
Right. For us, time is money. Mm-hmm. So if it's going to take me longer than a day to just polish up and look nice, it's just going to get sent right back.
Okay. And normally, what do you send things back for normally?
Poor UV maps, poor geo, just meshy, tangled geo on the inside of the helmet. That maybe it looks good on the outside, but the computer still has to render that information on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's all jacked up inside, send it right back.
All right. So you guys out there making helmets and things like that, make sure all of your geo is nice and neat, please.
And delete the stuff that you don't see.
Exactly. Those
no need
things
for it.
actually are costly for us. So make sure it's all cleaned up, nice and tight.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Bishop?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what people make, especially once we are able to give them more tools.
All right. Yeah,
more tools won't make it easier, but it means that the player can see more and hopefully make them better.
Definitely.
We'll see.
All right.
I'm looking
Mr.
forward to it.
Bishop, thank you. Appreciate it, sir.
Yep.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming out. Get back to work, man. You got stuff to do. Mr. Bishop is about to go back to work. All right. Let me get in here. Let me turn this dude's off because I'm not Bishop anymore. There you go. Well, hey, take it easy there, buddy. All right. So we've got a interview that I did with my good friend Arctorn, and he's gonna, tell you something about himself and let you know how he goes about creating these awesome helmets of his on the Player Studio front. There you go, Mr. Arctorn.
Welcome, my friend. We've got Robert Dang digga dang da dinga ding digga digga. What's up, Arctorn? Tell him what's up. Waiting on you, man. Waiting on you. Come on now. Introduce yourself, sir.
I am Arctorn, Robert Dang. I do helmets for Player Studio. From Hawaii. 25 years old, part-time college student, part-time worker. And yeah.
Cool. What are you actually going to school for?
Just a general liberal arts degree. I actually changed my major quite often. It started out in electrical engineering, which was really boring. So I just kind of ended up bouncing around and I stuck with the liberal arts degree.
Nice. You're all over the place. Now you're doing Player Studio helmets.
Yep.
So how do you go from liberal arts, electrical engineering, or whatever, mechanical engineering, to making Player Studio helmets?
Well, PlanetSide 2 is an awesome game. And, I personally, I'm not trying to inflate you here, T-Ray, but I really do like the way the game looks. And, sci-fi is awesome. So when I saw the opportunity to make, actual items I could get into a video game, because I love video games too, I jumped on it. So, I started looking things up, I borrowed some money, started playing around with things, and then one thing led to another.
So, it says here on Raquel's notes that you are self-taught.
Yeah.
All right, so you didn't know anything about 3D before Player Studio?
I have a very limited art background. I took a bunch of intro classes in, just everything, painting, drawing, sculpture, design, color. But I've never really explored it. So when Player Studio rolled around, I had no idea how to do any of this stuff. I was in so far over my head. So I spent, several weeks of just pounding away at it, trying to figure out how things worked before I got the guts to actually start posting designs up.
Sweet. So, seems like you've been doing pretty well here. How many helmets have you actually had accepted, and how many have you made?
I just finished up my 9th helmet, and I believe I have 6 in game right now. So
nice.
9 total, 6 in game. Pretty good.
Nice. So, where are the other 3? Just kind of in limbo? What's the deal with those?
I think they're just waiting in queue, quite frankly, because we've been getting tons of amazing creators coming in, putting in their stuff too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very nice. So how long does it take you to create one helmet?
When I've got the free time, I can probably put together a decent helmet in about a week. When I was first starting out, it was kind of slow because I was learning all the basics. As I got, more into it and got more excited about it, I was able to put out helmets in, 1 to 2 weeks. Nowadays, though, I just don't really have the free time, and it could take me like a month to make a helmet or so.
Sounds good. Sounds good. At least you got a couple in the marketplace already.
Yeah,
generating some funds for you. So, what tools do you actually use to create helmets?
I use ZBrush and Maya, which is what I believe you guys use in house too.
Mm-hmm.
And I do occasionally when I'm out and an idea just pops into my head, I'll sketch it down in a notebook or something. But I don't really have a lot of good 2D skills. It's primarily just 3D skills.
Okay. So what do you actually use, for those who don't know, what do you use ZBrush for?
I use ZBrush to make all the high poly, really nice looking models, the ones that are, have all the little details and stuff in them, because it's a very easy process to use for me personally, because of the free flow with the work and the ability to concept very quickly things. And then for Maya, I use that to convert the ZBrush models, which are generally ridiculous poly counts, down to something more manageable in game.
All right. All right. Well, the money. We gotta talk about the money. How much have you earned? All right, better yet, you've been in since the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
So what was your first check like?
My first check, when it came in, I think was about $3,500, which wasn't bad. And it actually blew me away because I was like, holy smokes, I'm making money off of this. And I think the first wave of Player Studio items went in right before the end of the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty exciting for me to see that check.
So what was that based off of? Multiple items or just one?
I'm not really sure. I think it was just primarily my first helmet, which was the Vanu Esper helmet.
Okay. All right. Very nice. And then the second check, which went out in January, right?
Yeah, that was quite a bit chunkier. It was about $8,500.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, now I know where I'm getting my drink tickets from at SOE Live. I'm heading right toward Art Torn's corner for sure. $8,500 in 3 months, basically. 3 months time.
Bad.
All right, so that's nice, pretty nice. All right, and you know how many helmets you actually had then? Like, what was the amount of helmets that you had done up to that point?
I think I'd done maybe 5 or 6 at that point, but I think only 4 were in game.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the Esper, it was the TR Sentinel, and then the 2 NC helmets, the Osprey and the Kestrel. I think that was it.
What?
It's the number 2 most popular item.
Which one? The Esper?
Sentinel.
Oh, the Sentinel. Apparently, according to the peanut gallery over here, the Sentinel is the number 2 selling helmet
Oh, wow.
in Player Studio right now. And, okay, look at that. How many in this top 5 are his?
I don't know.
All right, which ones did you make? Name all the helmets that you made.
Esper, Sentinel, Kestrel, Osprey, Judicator, and Fenrir. Those are the 6 in game right now, I think.
Yeah, you only got one in the top 5, man.
All
Sorry.
right. It's like Avalon is up there.
Oh, the Avalon is the number 1.
No, Avalon's Nikoko.
Nikoko. See,
Yeah.
Nikoko is
That dude rocks it too, man.
he's avoiding me, dude. He won't. I think he's got like a spy background. He don't want to interview with me because I asked him a couple of times. He was like, nah, I'm not having it. So if you're looking at this, Nico, I'm after you. Better get your butt in gear. All right, so that's pretty good. So we've gone through. We're at the end of your third quarter, basically.
Yeah.
And it looks like we have some preliminary numbers. Obviously, we're going to, you won't know until you get your check. So I think we're thinking your total for all quarters since September till the next quarter is going to be roughly around 18 to 20K total. So how you feel about that, sir?
I mean, I think my face says it all.
There you go. You don't look too excited, dude. I'd be like,
Man.
I'd be all over the place. Oh, my God, 20 grand.
I'm not gonna mess it up.
Come on, man. Don't
No,
be.
but seriously, man.
No
that's
time to be
amazing.
humble now. It's time to break out the, rims and gold chains and
Whoa! Hey,
cups.
What happened to PG?
It's time to break all that stuff out. You can beep that out later. It's gonna be edited.
Thanks.
It's gonna be edited. So yeah, so that's our rough estimate. We don't actually have the final numbers, but it's gonna be roughly around there. So that's pretty good, pretty damn good for a beginner, as we say. Basically 4 months or 5 months worth of training. Not too shabby. And obviously the people really like your helmets, and they think they're pretty good. I actually think your 3D is pretty nice. So you're right there on the edge. So if you don't want to be a mechanical engineer or liberal arts or whatever it is that you're doing this week, you can always find a job somewhere in 3D, I think. So, more questions. Let's see. Oh, of course. Do you intend to make more Player Studio items?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do this as long as I can, pretty much, until circumstances say, you don't have time anymore.
Ride it till the wheels fall off, huh? Nice. Good job. Good job. All right, so what would you tell someone that's interested in making Player Studio items for PlanetSide 2?
I would tell them that it seems like a lot of work at first, but if you put the passion in, you put the time in, and you make your stuff stand out. You don't implement on designs. You innovate, and you pour yourself into what you create. You can do really amazing stuff.
What about what do you think about the forums? Do you think they're a useful tool at all?
I would recommend everyone, even the slightest bit interested in Player Studio, go to the forums, because there's tons of amazing people there that will give you feedback on everything. Your decals, your helmets, your cockpit decals, your hood ornaments, and these people know what they're talking about. It's a mix of amateurs like me and people who have been in the business before, and they give incredible insight into what to do.
That's good to know. Any creators that you look up to?
Coffee Allah does. I mean, his ability to just churn stuff out. He's a machine, man. Like, I know he gets his concepts from a different artist, but his technical abilities just blow me away. Nikokoko and Beastbuster, another two amazing guys. I mean, they crank out very, very unique designs constantly. Like, those guys don't stop.
Yep, definitely. There's some good creators out there. I like Nico Coco, even though he's dodging me.
Gotta get him on this.
I'm gonna get him on. I'm telling you, I'm getting him on. He's gonna, even if I have to do like the blurred face and like the robot voice, or like somebody pretending to be Nico Coco, I'm gonna get him on. So, anything else you want to add for all those people out there watching? You want to say hi, Mom, and all that other jazz?
It's really flattering and really, really helpful for me personally to know that there's lots of people out there who like the stuff I do. That validation is an incredible feeling, and I just wanted to thank everyone who, even just thought about looking at some of my stuff. And of course, I wanted to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to do something like this, because it's amazing. It's incredible.
There you go. Well said. Well put, my friend. All right, there you have it. Mr. Robert Dang Digga Dang da Dang da Dang Diggy Diggy. I'm out of here.
And there you have it. My good friend Arctorn. Very good, very good. Very nicely done, sir. Appreciate all your hard work. As you see, you can make some cash doing good stuff, man. So, get your juices flowing and start getting those creative things out there so you can make a little bit of money like your man Arctorn. All right, so I'm about to go through the forums and check on some things and see how things are going. Anybody out there got any questions while I'm browsing through some of these things? Let me know. So I've already picked out a couple while you guys were enjoying the artistic stylings of Arctorn. I picked up some things here that I want to go over real quick. We're going to turn this crap off, man. Let's get that out of the way. All right. So with this one, the harasser exhaust. One of the things that I want you guys to make sure you do is that anything you create has to fit within a category that you created it for. So if you're submitting for a windshield, make sure that it fits over the windshield. Don't submit a windshield that's got a bumper connected to it with some pipes connected to it and all these other things that are associated with the car itself, or that are actually outside of the category that you're submitting. Because what happens is, as we start to unlock more and more categories for different vehicles and things like that, then we have to go back and adjust the things that you've already created. So, like, say we did something, something for example, we did hood scoops, as a category. Then we would have to go back and separate everything that had a hood scoop associated with the windshield. Right now, I don't see that actually happening, so I'm going to allow Mr. Shockwave to incorporate the hood scoop with the windshield. But like I said, when you submit those, make sure that the hood scoop actually has a windshield associated with it. So when somebody buys something, it's not like some floating thing. I'm in the windshield category, but then I get a hood scoop that's attached to it. And we learned our lesson with the Sunderer. We had a couple of Sunder attachments that were just grills, and one of those grills actually came with a spare tire. So when we realized that, it's like, okay, now we want to put something on the back, but this thing's already got part of something on the back side of it that's associated with something on the front, so it just kind of got really weird. So we removed the back tire, and then of course all hell broke loose. People lost their shit about it. So from here on out, we want to make sure that everything fits within the category that we set out there. So make sure you submit those. Bumpers go with bumpers. Windshields go with windshields, etc., etc. So this one's pretty good. That's the only thing I want to point out on this one is that you can submit things like that. Run it up the flagpole, toss it on the forums, and make sure that it's legit, because sometimes you might be encroaching upon something that we're going to be putting in later. This helmet, all right. It's obviously an NC helmet, NC Bandit 08. There were obviously 7 more tries before this. Howland 17. I would actually take this one and just say, you would probably start off with a different concept. Sometimes, you don't always hit, home runs on the first swing. So, the concept is everything. Like, the initial thought of it is everything. Like, if you're not starting with something that's solid and that can turn into something awesome, then you're just going to be piling, iteration on iteration on top of something that could never be. Sometimes we do that internally as well. It's like, you gyrate on something and it's just not going to turn into anything. So we just, toss that and start over. So, and this is one of the cases where I would just say, this idea is not really going to work for an NC helmet, because I don't really see anything that's interesting that would actually sell on the marketplace. So I would probably scrap this one and start over. It happens, but you're not always going to, get it right the first time. But that's the whole purpose of this, is to go through that process to find out what's applicable, what's not, and then you narrow it down and then you start working from there. So don't feel bad about it. It's not a big deal. Just keep them coming. Let's try this one. Beast Buster, my good friend, is always up to something. I believe in the forums on this particular helmet, I told Beast he needs to remove the collar. And people were like, oh, why would you need to remove the collar? All right, so here's the deal. There are certain outfits that this thing won't work with. So what we have to do internally is either live with the clipping, or try to fix it, which means that we have to fix it for male and female, and for every outfit that it breaks on, which is not good. So to avoid that, so that we don't incur that cost and we don't incur that time, I'm asking him to remove the collar. And that's just, you got to work within the limitations. Like I said earlier, some of these things are going to be passed on to you guys, like making the male and female helmet eventually will be on your side. So you might want to, think about the things that you're creating, because you're not just throwing it over the fence and waiting for somebody else to finish it. You're actually going to be finishing these things yourself. So in this case, I think that the collar might prove problematic to most of the armors and may only work on a handful of things. And if he wants to make it, class specific, then that's fine. If it only goes on stealth, then that's fine. That we can do that too. But if you want it to be like a broad reaching helmet that anybody can put on, just make it easier for that to happen. So I would say remove the collar on this one. This one, my good friend Arctorn again. Look at this guy. He's all over the place. All over the place. Arctorn, I think you've done it again. This one, I'm assuming, is an NC helmet by the title up there. Look at that. NC helmet. I just saw this one while I was browsing through the forums while you guys were watching the video. This one's pretty good. I would give it some more angles though. Like, I think you're kind of refining it already, which is cool because I see some of these little indents, and it's obviously just a rough because I see that you're working in ZBrush on this stuff, which is cool. But I think it's getting a little too round, Arctorn. So, clean it up in the back, square it up a little bit. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good one. That's not, it's a little reminiscent of one of the helmets that we just cleaned up. I forget which one it is. When I find it, I'll post it in this thread. So don't worry about it too much. But it's kind of close. And one thing we want to remember is that, if somebody's already got something in the marketplace that looks kind of like it, the odds are that it's most likely not yours is not going to get in, because what we're trying to do is allow everybody who creates something equal opportunity to succeed on the merits of their design, as opposed to making iteration after iteration of a design that already exists. So like hoods, for example, one of the things that we're saying, okay, at this point, I think we've got enough hood. So, making a new hooded helmet at this point in time is probably not a good idea unless you come up with something really, really spectacular. Let's go back to, here, my good friend Mutton Skiff. I know I saw you in the chat there, Mutton. This one has come a long way. Let me show you where it started. At the very beginning of this is what this started as. The monolith helmet. Not very good at the very beginning. But one thing I really appreciate about Mutton is that he did not give up. As you can see, this thing has gone on for quite a while. He's got six pages in the forums already. Mutton, you keep doing your thing. You're going to get there eventually. But as you can see, the progression, this progress, he keeps going. People give the feedback, which is great. People are giving some really good feedback. Too boxy. He made some adjustments here, made some more adjustments there with the colors and the doodads on there. Made some more adjustments here and kept going, kept pushing it. Next page, Mutton's on top of it. Then, of course, people are giving the feedback continuously, making sure that it fits the helmet. Really good, important fact there. You make sure that it fits as tight to the head as possible, because the last thing you want your helmet to look like is a bobblehead on the guy. So make sure it's right there on the guy's head, really close without clipping. Then he continues on. He toys with having a kerchief on him, or I guess that's a scarf, maybe, possibly. I guess he abandoned that one because that didn't last. And there we go. Move forward. Let me see where it actually turned the corner for him. I think Coffee did like a paint over for him. Where was that at? Good job, Coffee. Look, there you go. Coffee did a paint over and gave him some ideas, which is what the forums are all about. Sharing ideas with other creators, making new things, and making really cool stuff even better. So there you go. And he continues on with that. And somebody, Arctorn is giving his advice. What does he know? That dude don't know nothing. Don't listen to him. And of course, Mick Fluff joins in the fray, starts drawing some stuff in there too. Good stuff. Mutton's still on the case. Look at him, still plowing away on this thing, toying with some different designs and things like that. Great. And continues on with that. And then, of course, we go all the way to the back end. Now he's here, still working with it. He's got some decent ideas up here. Some nice designs up there. This is where I think he went wrong. I know a lot of people were kind of steering him in this direction. I think he went wrong with these boxes. Not really sure what those are. But I think what you should do is take these two sides right here and squeeze those in a little bit. Just make it a little bit tighter, and probably get like a some kind of filter in there or something that is gonna not look like just a bunch of boxes stuck on his face. But yeah, he's getting there. He's got like some nice designs on the back. I think everything on this, like everything around this area, is great. This is what kills it for me. That little piece right there kills it for me. And I think somebody else made that comment. Skooma Lord threw some in there. Nicely done. But I like to see that you guys are going through iterations and, cleaning things up. One thing I want to remind you of this mutton. Let me go ahead and throw this on here. So, if you look at your geometry, this stuff gets really wonky in here. It's supposed to be glass. You want that to be as flat as possible. So make sure that these angles are straight. Everything's straight up and down here. Clean that up. See what else you got in here. For the most part, this thing's good. You got a couple subdivisions that don't really do anything. Like this little hose piece, it's small. I would make it a little bit more prominent so it shows up a little bit better. Looks like you're currently at 32, which is kind of deceiving because you got the head in there still. No need to have that in there. Find out what the true number is after you remove the head. But then once you get those polys back, you can go in there and clean up some of these things, like keeping these things even right here. Like you got multiple edges here, but then it kind of peters out into two. But just keep that going straight through. What else you got going on in here? Mutton. Not really sure why you have so much geometry inside of this hole. Remember, you only need geometry when you're changing the shape or the silhouette, or you need to actually cut in some detail. If you got flat surfaces, there's really no need to have geometry there. So you can reduce a lot here, and then use that to bevel some of these edges to get that nice round edge, and to avoid using some of those smoothing groups that I see you using here. If you missed the show last week, the week before last actually, I talked about making sure that you try to use smoothing groups as little as possible. It makes the helmet a little bit more efficient when it renders in the game. And then using edge loops to create sharp edges when you actually want to get that crisp edge. So you can do that with geometry without breaking the geometry behind the scenes using smoothing groups. So keep pushing on that mutton. Almost there, sir. You're almost there. Let's see what else we got in here. We got some questions in here. Anybody else got any questions in this place? Well, nope, nothing. I'll wait for that to scroll on up while I find something new. Let's see. Edge loops. Oh, no. Red Dread Morgan. There you go. Edge loops inside the rings. He's absolutely right. The edge loops inside these rings were unnecessary. You can use those in different spots. You should definitely try to optimize your helmets or anything that you're making the best you possibly can, and use what you need. Anybody else got any questions in here? What is this? Twitch is tripping, so I can't see what's popping up. No problem, Mutton. Keep them coming. I appreciate you working on that. It's not only U.S. citizens. Did you not listen to what I was saying earlier? We just did a press release. France, Germany, Canada. We got a whole bunch of other people. May 1st we'll be accepting international entries into Player Studio. That's for Landmark and PlanetSide 2. So if you got something and you're outside the U.S., and you're ready to make some stuff, go ahead and start posting on the forums. Get into the flow of things. Go ahead and find out what it is that you need to do to make sure that your stuff shines so that you'll be ready on May 1st. You heard that here, baby. May 1st. Be ready outside the U.S. Get those things in there. Go ahead for it. Anybody else? Who else has got something? Any questions out there? Nobody? Good. Oh, any advice on harasser Lumifiber? Lumifiber is a little tricky. I would say the only advice I would say is just to make sure that it stays as, fairly straightforward. You can have some fancy designs, but then it starts to get muddy because you only have so many polys that you can work with. So keep them fairly straightforward if you possibly can, and try to make sure that you use that Lumifiber texture, the Lumifiber texture instead of the harasser texture on Lumifiber. There's a separate texture that we use to do the scrolling. So when you get in the game and you see the thing kind of doing that little strobe thing, that's the texture that we use. So use the black and white texture that we provided for you. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You make sure that it's you can have some thickness to it if you want to, or it could just be a polygon thin if you want it to be. So there's no real preference there, but just come up with something original. And again, don't try to do these elaborate designs because you'll run out of polys really quick on that. ETA on Australia. Sorry, I don't know. I do not know the answer for that. But I can assume that it will be soon after we get through this first run of outside the U.S. stuff. Let's see. Lumifiber wheels, yes. Let's see. Where's this texture? Oh, yeah, you can find that texture here in where to download files. And let's see, where did he put that? Oh, yeah, here you go. Examples for harasser customizations. There it is, Lumifiber trim example file. So you can find it right there. Question: will these shows be published on YouTube? The first one's already on YouTube. If you missed it, go check it out. It's on the PlanetSide 2 page on YouTube. So first episode is already up. And yes, this one will be published on YouTube as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not already. And you can follow me on Twitter and for the latest updates if you are missing those. I always post when that goes live. So, follow me on Twitter and you'll be in the know. Questions: any more melee weapons like size variations? Stay with it. Not yet. Right now, the first thing we're going to do is knives. Anything like a knife. So it could be ice pick or a shiv or a shard of glass or another knife or a knife-like thing. So I'm not going to go through all the things that it could be, but anything you can stab somebody with, yeah, we'll take that. Question: will ESFs ever get any shape redesign? Possibly. We are actually actively making new versions of the Quad, Sunderer, and Harasser. You heard that first. All right. Anybody else? I got 5 minutes. Any other questions? Okay, somebody asked about composite armor. I think I missed it. What was it? Say it again. What did it say? Okay. Composite armor on harasser blocks a lot of body. Well, let's see. Will Lumifiber and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the composite armor is part of gameplay. So some of that stuff we can't move. So you can only work around it. So if you want to do Lumifiber and you want it to show up, try to avoid the composite armor placement. Composite armor is mainly needs to be visible at a distance so that people can tell that you have composite armor on your vehicle. We don't want anybody shooting at something like, oh, it won't die. Like, why? So the composite armor has to actually be visible at long distances so that people know that, hey, I'm shooting that thing. It might take a little bit longer to kill. Sir, can I make Player Studio from the Philippines? I don't think we're open to the Philippines just yet, sir. But we will eventually. I'm guessing maybe this year. I'm going to guess that I don't have any facts on that, but I'm a guess. But later on this year, for sure, we're going to have some more entries into Player Studio. Right now, we've got that first initial run outside the U.S. And that was no easy task, mind you. Our lawyers worked on that really, really hard. I appreciate that. Question. Any more details about, what does it say? Crap. Twitch, you're killing me here. How will rumble seats for the Valkyrie be attached? They're part of the vehicle. What do you mean attached? I don't understand that question. It's just a hole. You sit in the hole. The guys sit in the hole in the Valkyrie. They're not actually attached. You're just sitting in the hole. Let's see. Why are you super excited about the Player Studio outside? You already in the U.S., Arctorn? Barely, though. Hawaii barely counts. Will there be multiple NS vehicles in the game rather than Empire ES versions of the Lightning? Probably not. We toyed around with doing Empire specific quad variations. Nothing came of that though. So we're thinking about it. It's on our mind. You never know what might happen. Can I pimp my Liberator with some studio stuff? Sure. We're actually going to be releasing Liberator stuff pretty soon here. We're going to try to do something new every month. I think the next release is most likely going to be Sunderer attachments. So eventually we'll get to the Liberator, and then you'll be able to do all kinds of wacky stuff to it. And let me get one more question. Hey T, do you know if the new NVIDIA drivers released today may help I don't know. You just wasted that question, man. It's got nothing to do with Player Studio. All right, I'll take one more Player Studio related question, and that will be 6 o'clock for me and time to peace out. So anybody else got anything? Hold up. Hold up. Is that, hold up. APC picture you tweeted about Sunderer redesign? No. There you go. That's the last one at 6 o'clock. I'm sorry. Blew it. Wasted it on a non-Player Studio related item. Anyway, the plan is to start doing these every week because we have a lot of people asking a bunch of questions, and we want to get those to you as soon as possible so you can get great information so you can build some things. So starting the week after next, because I'm out of town next week, we're going to be doing this every week. From 5 to 6, Player Studio, inside the Player Studio with your man, Tramell Ray Isaac, Senior Art Director of PlanetSide 2, and we'll also be including EverQuest, EverQuest 2, EverQuest Landmark, and any other game that associated with SOE and Player Studio on this show. So if you're an EverQuest fan, tune in. We might have Dave Brown, my good friend, who had to cancel today because he had previous engagement. We're going to get him, though. Mr. Brown, you're coming on the show. You're going to talk about some EverQuest stuff. All right. So if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel, please. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter. You see my Twitter handle there? Let me go ahead and get my camera back. There you go. Follow me on Twitter and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Somebody asked about the first episode on YouTube. It's already there, so go watch it. Please go watch that. And until next time, folks, we will see you in the Player Studio.